everyone, I'm Allie with Potomac Beads. Join me and gather your materials to make this sunshine pendant. Remember, if you need a list of the materials and the specific colors, below the video near that like and subscribe button is a link that says in the description exactly which colors were used and the links to those products. So join me in making this fun, bright sunshine pendant. So to begin our sunshine pendant, we're going to begin with the back. In this design here, you can see that I used half tielas, which we actually made this pendant as an example, and I'm gonna change it up a little bit, during one of the design lives with Teresa when she was here in the States earlier this year. Now, when I'm looking at the pendant here, I did use half tielas in the design. That being said, you really can use a variety of things. I'm using the MiniDuos to make it a little bit more accessible, but really any 2-hole bead that is going to be about 4 to 5 millimeters long will work for this. We're going to start with our center back here, and I want to begin with 3 15s on my needle, and I'm using that squash color, and then we're going to pick up one of our MiniDuos in the ancient gold. 3 more 15s, and then another ancient gold MiniDuo. So this is going to repeat another 2 times till we get that series of 4. If you do want to use a different size cabochon rather than the 18 millimeter, which we're going to be using for this piece, you may need to change the count just slightly. Going in here then, I'm going to, after I put on that 4th MiniDuo, I'm going to bring it back to the end of the design here, and we're actually going to tie it in a loop. So I'm not going to have any stop bead. I'm going to literally just tie right over left and get that into a nice little circle. That circle is going to hold in the back of the Rivoli. And again, you can use, the idea is that we're creating a space for that Rivoli to sit inside. But if you want to use a cabochon, you can use a cabochon also. All right, once you've got that in and making sure that you don't have any seed beads that are caught in your knot, you're going to give a nice little pull. My seed beads want to be caught in my knot. So I'm just going to take my thread and needle, move it over a little bit, and then tie my knot. All right. Once you have your knot tied here, it should be way easier than that for you. We're gonna do what's called a step up. I don't wanna step up right at the knot. I'm gonna go through. We ended with the round duo, or with the mini super duo. So we're gonna go through our next set of our 3 15s and our MiniDuo. Go ahead and bring your needle out and we're gonna step up. To step up, what I refer to is going to be bringing my needle and thread from the bottom hole to the top hole of that mini. It's going to expose a little bit of thread on the exterior. And if I was doing this as a pendant for myself, I would actually be using white thread. I'm using the green so you can see it a little bit better on the design. From here, we're going to start our cage and do a couple more of our 15-0s. So in the design here, we did 15-0 and then another one of our 2-hole bead and then a 15-0 again. So we're going to do 3 15s, just like we're repeating the pattern. And as we do the 3 15s, then we're going to put on a MiniDuo, 3 15s, and then into the next MiniDuo, sewing connecting to that second hole that goes along the top. And you can see it's going to sit in there right like a netting. So I'm going to repeat this another 3 times, adding in another row of my MiniDuo beads. So we're going to finish off by going through that first MiniDuo that our thread was coming out of. And you're also going to sew through the first 3 15s, as well as through that first MiniDuo that we just put on in this second kind of square that we've been creating. Now, because I'm using the MiniDuos and I switched to 15s, we get that nice kind of squared effect, but I need it to be a little bit larger because when I was doing the MiniDuo, or when I was doing the half tielas and the 11 OC beads, it was a little bit too large. That's why I switched to the 15s. We're going in now and we're stepping up on that Super Duo Mini that we're coming out of. Coming out of that MiniDuo then, I want you to grab 5 of your 15-0s. If you want to do this, you can do it with 3 11s, 1 of your MiniDuos, oops, and then 5 more of your 15s. So you need to get 5 on here total. Then we're gonna get on one of our minis. And then I'm gonna do 5 of my 15s. That's gonna create our basically outer edge that's going to go right up against the edge of our Rivoli. So I have the Rivoli sitting here so you can see how that's gonna kind of cup right around the edge of it. So you're gonna continue on 4 more times to create that next little effect. You're gonna get a diamond and then the square, and then this one will give us that diamond effect again. And we're getting almost that netting look. So once we have 5, then we're gonna get our next Super Duo mini on, 5 more into the next mini duo, and then repeat. So we're gonna get to those 4 corners, and then we're gonna get ready to encapsulate that, adding in our Eva beads around our crystal. As you're finishing off then this outer edge here, I'm going to, after putting on my last grouping of 5, 1, 5, go through that first of my mini beads, go through the first 5 15s, and then again through that first hole of the first mini that we put on this grouping of 4. And this is the same thing that we did last time, where we're then gonna step up. We're going from the bottom hole or the inner hole of that that mini duo to the outer hole of that mini super duo. Give a nice little tight tug, and that kind of gets that nice netting effect done. So you can see now when we put in our Rivoli here, kind of sits right there nicely, that you'll see a little bit of those seed beads, but really most of that netting is going to be focused towards the back. I did want to see a tiny bit of the super duos, and we're going to add the Eva beads now along the design. So to add in the Eva beads, as well as the example, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're adding in a 15, then we're going to add in our Eva, then we're going to add in a 15 crystal, 15, and continue on. So here we go. We're adding in a 15. And then when we add in our Eva bead here, we're coming out of this side. So we're going to actually go into basically the second side of our Eva with the point facing out. We're going into that second leg, or the leg on the right. And then we have that first Eva on. From here, go ahead and put in 2 15s, 1 of your crystals, and then 2 15s. That's gonna sit right there in the middle. And then here's where it's a little bit funky, and you can see the first section of it. So we're gonna go into the right-hand side of our Eva bead here. So we're going into the right leg of it. This time we're gonna see it encapsulate that mini duo. Add in 1 of your 15 and go into that mini duo. Then you're gonna add 1 more of your 15, and my tail wants to be inside there. Make sure that tail gets out. 1 more 15, and through the other hole of the Eva. Go ahead and pull that tight, and you're gonna notice that it's gonna start to kind of fold in towards the front. You want that to happen. So again, 2 15s, 1 of my 4mm crystals, 2 15s. Then you're gonna add another one of your Eva. Again, you're holding it so that it's carroting up, going through the left-hand leg, adding in a 15, and sewing through the next mini duo through the open hole. And you'll see now you can see that's kind of starting to occur, that those Eva beads are facing in. I'm gonna take this tail so it gets out of the way and just tuck it to the back of the design and kind of pull it to the back. Here, going out of the mini duo, I'm gonna put on another 15 and go through the other side of the Eva. Bringing that thread out, I'm gonna give just a nice little tight pull, and that'll get that curvature happening even more. Again, 2 of my 15s, 1 of my 4mm bicones, 2 15s, and then another one of my Evas. Again, this is going to be the 4th one. I'm going through the exterior of that left foot, basically, of the Eva. 1 more 15 goes on, and I'm going through the next of my mini duos. So that pattern repeats itself because we're doing a series of 4 times. Coming out of that mini duo, 15 goes on, and to the other hole of the eva, exiting towards the outside of the eva. Give it a nice tight pull, which is gonna, again, force that towards the interior. Now we're gonna add our last crystal in here, and I'm adding my 2 15s, my crystal, 2 15s, and then my eva bead is already there. So I'm gonna catch on to the eva for the open hole, going from the outside towards the inside of that eva. I'm sewing through. Now, before I get too involved in this, I actually want to get my Rivoli in place. So my thread's just a little bit twisted there. There we go. And I'm gonna add 1 15, and then I'm gonna sew through that super duo, the 15 that's right after, that first 15 that we put on, and then I'm gonna come out after my eva bead. This is bright. I haven't done anything this bright in a while. All right, so before I pull nice and tightly, we want to drop our crystal to the interior. So I'm just going to kind of fold that back a little bit, play with it, and push that crystal down, bringing the evas to the outside. You're going to kind of treat it that it's sitting. You might need to pull that last one out just a tiny little bit, pull the thread out to kind of drop it in and slide it into place, and then pull that thread a little bit tighter. When you pull this thread a little bit tighter, you want to make sure that you're at equal distance for all your eva beads, that they're sitting inside of that crystal. And I know it's kind of mesmerizing and blinding as you look at it, but go ahead and get that crystal in, then do that nice tight pull, making sure again that your eva beads all sit right about even on the cabochon or onto the Rivoli. So what we're going to do is we're going to spin around and actually have the pendant get added in an extra eva bead and an extra little bit of the crystals as well. So I have 2 already done so you could see the look of it. We're going to be adding 5 seed beads around the crystals, and then a crystal and another eva along the outer edge. When you're coming out of an eva bead, you're going to grab a 15, then a crystal, then a 15. From there, I want you to grab the eva bead, and you're going to go through the second or the right hand hole of the eva when it's facing up like a carrot. You're going to do this on all the corners of where the eva beads connect. And then I'll show you what we're doing with the seed beads here, because your needle is probably coming out right on the other side of the eva. It's good to watch this section first and then to actually move on from here. I'm going to be picking up 9 of my 15s now. So I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 of them, going back through the eva bead, through that second hole, and those 9 beads are going to work to actually cap the eva. Give a nice tight pull and then go back through and go to the eva, then the crystal, or I'm sorry, from the eva to the 15s and the crystal, right across and through. Give a tight little nice pull there and get them down next to the actual beads. From here, we're going to go back through the eva that sits below, coming out towards the middle here. Again, give a nice little tight pull to make sure that that sits nice and tight so it sits up. From here, this is probably where your needle and thread currently is. Go ahead and add in, take your needle through the 2 15s here, and then you're going to add 5 15s that are going to sit in front of that crystal. So we're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we're going to switch over and do the same thing again. You're going to go through the 2 beads on the other side of the crystal, up through the eva bead, and then when we're coming out the eva, we're going to repeat this again. You're going to put on a 15, then I've got to get one of my crystals here, 15 again, and then with the eva pointing up like a little carrot there, you're going through the eva. We're going to pick up 9 of our 15s. Oops. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Then we're going to go down through the eva. And again, we're doing this 4 times because you're going the whole way around. Through the 15, through the crystal, through the 15. Give a nice tight pull after each one of these. And get that crystal so that it sits right in the center. After you have that pulled tight, you're going to go through the Eva bead, and as you finish up with the fourth and final one, you're going to go through that Eva and out. We're now going to come to the center of our sunshine pendant, and when I come to the center of the pendant, I'm going to come out through the third bead in that grouping of 5, and that's going to allow me to kind of get this crystal in there a little bit more. We're going to go through the first 2 beads there coming out of the grouping, and then I'm going to step up through the first 3 beads, because remember we added 5 that are going to sit towards the interior of the crystal, and we're going to go through just 3 of them, and that's going to bring it out on the corner. So I have mine through 4, and then the 5th bead, which is going to be the 3rd bead in that grouping. From here, we're going to get ready to kind of square this off even more and bring that sunshine pendant in, and then we'll get ready to add our exterior with our tassel and our little area for our jump ring or clasp or whatever you're going to do with your pendant. Once you're to that interior, we're going to add in a 15, a crystal and a 15, and then we're going to go over to the next bicone, picking up again that 3rd bead in the grouping of 5. It should naturally kind of sit to the point, and give a little tight yank. Again, 4 times we repeat this. 15, crystal, 15, over to that next point, which is going to pull these sides in a little bit. And I know these are bright colors. I wanted to use bright for that sunshine effect. And because it's currently snowing outside here, so I thought I'd bring a little sunshine in. And 15, crystal, 15. This is my last one here. I'm going to go back through that first 15 that my thread was coming out of and give a nice tight pull. That gets that cross effect in, and now we're going to downgrade to get to our exterior so we can attach and do our tassel as well as our topping for the actual lip to go through. So I've gone in a second time and I've reinforced right along that center, and now we're going to move to the back of the pendant so we can add our last Evas as well as our tassel and our loop. To do so, you're going to come down through the seed beads along the side here after one of your center beads there. And as I come out here, I'm going to basically go backwards, going through my Eva bead and bringing that needle then towards the back. And after I come out through the Eva, I'm going to go through my 15-0 after the back. I'm going to go through my MiniDuo there, and then I'm going to bring it through the back again, or bring it closer to the back rather, by going through that MiniDuo, and then out through the first 2 seed beads right after it. That's going to set me up and get me ready to go ahead and add in my last little layer here to make my last of my rays. So we're going through 1 more seed bead, my fault there, through 3 seed beads. And then we're basically going to repeat what we just did here, but we're going up through the Eva bead. We're going to go through the left hand little hole there as it points up to the carrot. Here around the top, you know the drill. You're going to do 9 seed beads. And you're going to do 9 seed beads on 2 of the sides, and then the other 2, we're going to hang down our clasp, or our bail rather, and then we are going to hang down our tassel on the other. So 7, 8, and 9, down through the Eva. You're going to skip over through 2 seed beads, and then we're going to go through 3 seed beads, our corner MiniDuo, through the 3 seed beads on the other side of the MiniDuo. Then after we go through those 3 seed beads, we're going to come out and we're gonna add in our last of our Eva beads. And the reason that I add these last and not while I'm going around is because I want them to sit a little bit to the back, and they do change the way kind of that it feels and the way that they sit. I want that three-dimensional. That's why you're adding them at the end and not at the beginning as you're going around. I like to give reasons why I do what I do as I'm creating. So coming out through here again, we're going up into the bead there. Excuse me. Add 9 seed beads. This time, we are actually, sorry, my fault, we're gonna add 4 seed beads. Then I'm gonna add a crystal. Then I'm gonna add my wire guard. So my wire guard or wire protector is gonna sit at the top of my bead here. I'm going through that first hole of the wire guard, down through the other side, down through the crystal, making sure that as I do that here, that my thread stays inside that wire guard. And I'm gonna pull it nice and close to the crystal. Add 4 more 15s. And you're gonna go through the next Eva bead. After you come through the next Eva bead, your bail is going to be set. Ha, we set our bail. All right, and then after there, we're going to repeat the same thing, going through our 3 seed beads, through our MiniDuo along the corner. And then we're gonna do the same thing 2 more times. When we get to the opposite side of this bail here, we're gonna go in and add our tassel. When you get to the end and your last Eva bead, it's time to put on our tassel. So I have that tassel in the nice canary yellow color, and I have on 1 15-0, 1 crystal, and then I'm gonna put on 8 of my 15-0 seed beads. Those are gonna create a loop. If you'd rather, you can do a wire guard and you can end it that way. Then I'm gonna put on 1 of my crystals, 1 more of my 15, before my crystal, sorry, we need to put back on that tassel because it won't fit over the crystal. And then from there, we're gonna do 1 more 4mm crystal, 1 15-0, and then back up through our Eva bead. Once we go through our Eva bead and we have that nice little loop created, you're gonna go back through the last 3 seed beads and then also through that MiniDuo there. When you give that a pull, just make sure that you're not trapped in anywhere. And that's gonna add that tassel into your sunshine pendant. From here, we're gonna downgrade and go in and tie those 2 thread ends together, going back through the 15s next to it, back through that MiniDuo that's next, reversing through that MiniDuo, through those next 3 seed beads. And basically, we're just bringing the 2 thread ends together so we can tie a knot. And I'm going back through the next MiniDuo. And as I go back through the next MiniDuo, again, we're going to go down and get these thread ends together. So this also reinforces that back and gets the thread to the same area. And once you sew through that MiniDuo through that other hole, then you're gonna bring it all the way around. And we're gonna tie off that loop. Just a little tie off there and the end of your pendant is all finished. Thanks so much for watching the Sunshine Pendant. Remember, in the description below the box is those links to the products that you can purchase from us at PotomacBeads.com as well as PotomacBeads.eu. It also helps us if you give us a little thumbs up, lets us know exactly what type of videos you prefer to see. You can also hit that bell and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You get regular updates when we get new products, new videos, new tutorials, and things to make you a better beader. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully you get a little sunshine. Happy beading, everyone.